Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Eagles in Digital Business. A Candid chat with.
All of
All
us.
of us.
Happy and blessed Sunday to everyone, and happy and blessed Monday for those who are Monday, and happy Father's Day to all the parents out there, and to all the single moms and those who are doing the role of a father, or a father figure to someone. So let's find out what is our topic for today. Uh, Miriam.
So, so our topic today is why lifelong learners often creates more opportunities for themselves. Back
Yes,
to
so
you, Sandy.
thank you, Marian. So that's our topic for today. But before we dive into our topic, let us introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently residing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hi. Happy Father's Day once more. Your babe here is Mosumola, the face behind musiconsult.com, originally from Nigeria, West Africa. I reside and I work as a healthcare worker, a healthcare professional in the USA. And I've been doing this job for so many years. And I'm a proud owner of this digital business, excited to be a mentor here. Right on with us.
All right. Thank you, Mo. And I am Miriam. I'm originally from Jamaica. I am a nurse for over 20 years. I'm also a wife, a mom, and a grandma for one, and now a proud digital business owner.
Hello. Hi there. This is Flak, a mom of three. By profession, I'm an educator. And nowadays, I'm running my online digital business and a mentor successfully. Thank you. Over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Karen. I'm originally from the Caribbean island of Antigua, but I'm now living in the United Kingdom. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I currently work full time in customer services, and I'm also a digital business owner.
This will be Makamai, originally from the Philippines and now living in Ontario, Canada. And I'm a full time professional, a wife, and a digital business owner. I started this online business because I wanted more options for my future, not just for extra income, but for more flexibility, growth, and time freedom.
Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Rosemary Espiritu Ordaxi. I am a proud Ilongga from Iloilo, Philippines, a wife, a mom of four, and a healthcare worker here in BC. Previous RN in Philippines and Jeddah KSA for 12 years. And I'm proud now a business owner here in BC and a mentor.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. So let's dive into our topic for today.
Right. Like we said before, our topic today is very exciting. Why lifelong learners often create more opportunities for themselves.
Thank you, Matsumola. So yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Eagles in Digital Business, and happy and blessed Sunday to everyone. Happy and blessed Monday to everyone. And happy Father's Day. So today's topic is one that can impact every area of our life, and that is, learning. Many people believe opportunities happen by chance, but often opportunities appear because someone's prepared themselves through learning, through curiosity, and through growth. So the people who continue learning often continue expanding their possibilities because they're expanding their minds. So today we'll discuss 6 reasons why lifelong learners often create more opportunities for themselves. And let's find out what are those points.
So today points are lifelong learners see possibilities other miss, learning buildings confidence. Third one, lifelong learners adapt more easily to change. Fourth, learning creates valuable relationship. Fifth, lifelong learners develop problem solving skills. And six, growth creates momentum.
Thank you, Daxi. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking today. So let's dive into our first point.
Right. The very first point is lifelong learners see possibilities that others miss. So, when we're talking about learning, learning expands perspective. What do you mean by learning? Learning is not just acquisition of knowledge. No, learning is not acquisition of information. No, all these are components of learning. But learning is much, much more broader, is much, much more wider, because the information you have, the information you acquire, the knowledge that you acquire, and you don't put it into action, you don't put it into practice, you don't act on it, you have not really learned something from it. Is either you decide that it is not worth it, that is a decision, or you decide that it is worth trying, worth looking into, that is another decision. So when you acquire knowledge, you must take time to act. Don't just push it aside. Lifelong learners often notice opportunities that others overlook, because as a learner, you have some form of information, you acquire some form of knowledge, and then you try to look at the information from another person's perspective. Then you have learned not only from your own knowledge, but also from what others are saying. The more we learn, the more connections we can make. Growth changes how we see the world. You may see it from your standing point, where you are standing, but when you mix with others, then you will see from their own perspective as well and match everything together. That is called growth. Growth changes how we see the world. You cannot see new opportunities with the exact same perspective you've always had. If you decide that this thing is one and others are seeing it that it is multiplying, and you stand in your own perspective alone, you will never see the difference, and you will never see when time or paradigm is changing to other things. Learning helps us to recognize possibilities that may have been invisible previously. When you mix with others, you gain. Learning is actually taking and giving. You give what you have, and you acquire, you take from others and merge it together to form a beautiful perspective. And learning never stops. When you stop learning, you start regressing. So let's ride on and see what others have to say.
Thank you, Tis Mosumola. So yeah, so Mosumola just talk about lifelong learning, see possibilities, other myths. So just like Mosumola mentioned, lifelong learners often see possibilities because that other people cannot see, is because they are continuous learning and expanding their perspective. And because of that, that helped them recognize opportunities and connections that before they were not able to see it, so it were invisible to them. But once you start learning, you start expanding. And just like Mosmola mentioned, when you have your perspective and you hear from other people's perspective, you put it together and then you expand, and you are able to see those possibilities. Okay, so let's move on to the next point.
Okay, so our next point for today is learning builds confidence. Have you ever talked yourself out of something because you thought you weren't ready? Maybe you've told yourself, I don't know enough, I'm not qualified, or what if I fail? But here's something worth remembering: nobody starts as an expert. Every person you admire once stood where you are now, uncertain, inexperienced, and wondering if they could really do it. The difference, they were willing to learn. Learning isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about expanding what's possible in your mind. Every new lesson teaches you something valuable. You can figure things out, you can solve problems, and you can adapt when things change. And Once you realize that, fear starts to lose its grip. You stop focusing on what you don't know and start focusing on what you're capable of learning. That's where growth begins. That's where new opportunities are born. So don't let lack of knowledge stop you. Think about this. You weren't born knowing how to use technology or to do your current job. You learned. So keep learning, keep stretching, keep believing. Your future may depend less on what you already know and more on your willingness to learn what's next. Learning creates possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So yeah, so Karen just talked about learning builds confidence. And just like Karen mentioned, uh, people get build the confidence through the learning because every new skill they develop, they prove to them that they can learn, they can adapt, and they can take action. And through those, they can able to see, go through new opportunities and possibilities in front of them. So you build the confidence through taking action and repeating um, those actions.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next point.
Opportunities is because it helps us adapt more easily to change. So we know that the world is constantly changing. The technology is changing, industries are changing, and even the way people is changing. And also the opportunities around us are changing. So what worked before may not always work today. And what we know today may need to grow and improve tomorrow. So that is why uh, being willing to learn is so important. When we continue learning, we become more flexible. We become more open minded and we are not easily stuck in the old way of things. Instead, we are able to adjust and move forward with confidence. For me, learning means being prepared for new seasons, new challenges, and new possibilities. So change can feel uncomfortable sometimes, especially when we are used to doing things a certain way. So that's why we have to train our or we have our learning mindset. We need to begin to see change not only as something scary, but as an opportunity to grow. So people who keep learning are able, or the people are often able to see possibilities that others may miss. So they can learn new skills, understand new tools, and adjust to new environment. So that give them an advantage, especially during times of transition. So I believe the ability to learn is one of the most valuable skills in today's world. So we may not always know what the futures will look like, but when we are willing to keep learning, we are better prepared for whatever comes next. So my takeaway for this is learning helps us stay ready, flexible, and prepared for our future opportunities. So that's all for me, and thank you. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sis Ruby. So Sis Ruby just talked about lifelong learners adapt more easily to change. And just like she mentioned, it is because of their willingness to keep learning. And that helps them, stay flexible, stay resilient, and also be prepared for those opportunities in this evolving world. The world keeps changing constantly. So if you are a lifelong learner, you're gonna be able to adapt to these changes. Okay, so let's move on to the next point.
I'll be talking about learning creates valuable relationship. My firm belief is learning makes you leader. Knowledge makes you stand out among leaders. Every lesson we learn has the power to open doors beyond knowledge. Learning connects us with inspiring people, supportive community, and mentors who help us grow. These meaningful relationship often lead to opportunities we never expected. Success is rarely built alone, it is strengthened by the connections we make along the way. When you commit to learning, you expand both your future, your vision, your circle of influence. Sometimes the opportunities is not the lesson itself, but the people you meet while learning. Some of life's greatest opportunities come through people. Relationship frequently create opportunities. So it sharpens your vision and empowers your vision to inspire others. So my takeaway today is growth often expand both our knowledge and our network for sure. Thank you. Over to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Falak. So, Falak just talked about learning creates valuable relationships, and just like she mentioned, the reason why it does that is because it connects while you're learning. You connect with new people, you meet new mentors, you meet a community, just like we are here, and those perspective and those support that we get, and those experience that that other people share with us, those are the ones that can open the door to opportunities that before, if we were trying on ourselves, we wouldn't be discovering that. But when we expand and we connect with other people, that's when we start discovering other things that we couldn't see on ourselves.
Mhm.
So let's move on to the next point.
So, my topic for today is lifelong learners develop problem solving skills. One thing I learned throughout my journey is that learning doesn't just give us knowledge, it helps us become better problem solvers.
Mhm.
As an RN before in Philippines and working in Saudi Arabia for 12 years, every day brought different challenges. In healthcare, no two situations are exactly the same. We have to think critically, adapt quickly, and find solutions to help our patients. Those experiences taught me that learning is not just about what we know. It's about how we use what we know to solve the problems. And when I moved to Canada, I had to learn new systems, about to a new environment, building a new life. Later, when I started learning about online business, I faced another learning curve. I was not tech savvy, but instead of focusing on the obstacles, I focused on learning and finding solutions. Research shows that lifelong learners are often more adaptable and resourceful because they continue developing a new ways of thinking. The more we learn, the more confident we become in facing challenges and finding opportunities. And business and life, people who can solve problems create value. That's why learning is such an important investment in ourselves. So, guys, this is my takeaway for you. Learning helps us become solution oriented. The more problems we can solve, the more value we can create for ourselves, our families, and the people we serve. Thank you. Go back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Daxi. So Daxi just talked about lifelong learners develop problem-solving skills, and just like Daxi mentioned, this is because when you continue learning, you expand your ability to think creative. You think outside of the box, and you are able, because of that, also to adapt to challenges. So instead of seeing them as something that will stop you, you try to find a solution and move on the other side. So you don't stay stuck in that. So that helps you, because of the continuous learning, it helps you, to be able to develop those problem solving skills. And that's a value for you, That's a value for everyone that is around you, because you're also teaching other people to think differently, you know. So it's not only about you, it's about also teaching others. All right, so let's move on to the next one.
Okay, excuse me. So that's me. Last but not least, we're going to look at the growth creates momentum portion of this topic. So we see all the time online, you see someone celebrating a massive milestone. Maybe they're hitting a major financial goal, or maybe they're living with time freedom. If you think I'm lying, get into our global space and you'll see those. So from the outside, we look at it and we say, oh, that looks so easy. And, people might think, wow, they probably got lucky or they were at the right place at the right time. But it's not so. So, for me personally, when I stepped into the digital space, I did not see immediate results. Some days, to tell the truth, it felt like I was working in total darkness. I was putting in those late nights after my long nursing 12-hour shift and wondering if my efforts were even going to matter. So we can look at it and say success often looks like luck from the outside, but growth usually happen behind the scenes. So growth compounds over time. I think Daxi mentioned that too. Every single tutorial you watch, every piece of reel that you produce, or every shaky go live video you push through, it's all building that invisible foundation. You don't need a big breakthrough on day one, because every lessons build up on the other lessons. And so small improvements today lead to opportunities tomorrow. So the growth that you do in the dark is what creates the momentum that eventually brings you to the light. So remember this you can take away from what I said is consistent learning creates momentum that can transform your future. So stop waiting for that lucky break. Keep showing up, keep learning, and let your consistency build that momentum that forces those doors to open. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Miriam. So yeah, so Miriam just talked about growth creates momentum. So because you know every lesson that we learn, or every skill, like just like Miriam was mentioning, that we develop, and every small improvement builds upon the last. So those are the progress that compound over time, and that's what is open the door to greater opportunities. And just like Miriam say, a lot of people they only see the success, but they don't see behind, what it took for that person to be able to reach that. So those are all those little compounds efforts that you do through learning to be able to reach that. Okay, so let's find out what is our key takeaway for this topic.
Mr. Polak. Sister Polak.
Sorry about that. Key takeaway. One of the most powerful lessons we can learn is that opportunity often follow growth. The more we learn, the more we develop ourselves, the more adaptable we become, the more opportunities we are likely to recognize and pursue. Lifelong learners understand that education does not end when school ends. Growth remains valuable for the rest of our lives, and every lesson learned has the potential to create a new possibilities. Keep learning, keep growing, keep staying curious, because your next opportunity may be connected to the next thing you choose to learn. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for like
Mhm.
this was our
Yep.
key takeaway for this topic.
Thank you.
So now let's see what is our reflective question for the audience.
Okay, so as you reflect on today's conversation, ask yourself, what is one skill, subject, or area of growth you've been wanting to learn more about? Perhaps that learning journey could open a door you haven't discovered yet.
Thank you, Sis Karen. So that's our reflective question for the audience. So we have arrived to the end of our life. So we hope so that what we shared today, really inspire you and to continue learning. So remember, lifelong learning is one of the greatest investments you can make in yourself, and that is because every skill that you develop or every lesson you learn and every perspective you gain has the potential to create opportunities that can transform your future. So hopefully you uh, learned something with us today, or you got inspired by continue learning. So let's find out what is our topic for next Sunday.
So please join us next Sunday because we will be speaking on why personal growth often creates opportunities before results.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. So that's our topic for next Sunday. So it's going to be a conversation about patience, growth, consistency, and why the work we do on ourselves often creates the future opportunities long before visible results appear. So that is the end of our life for today. So we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Sunday for those who are on Sunday, and a happy and blessed Monday for those who are already on Monday, and a happy and blessed week ahead. So thank you everyone for watching the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. And to our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey and of our community. So we want to wish again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and to all the single moms that act as a father too. And for all those that represent a father figure to someone, to a kid, and to someone out there. So
Yes.
happy, enjoy your day with your loved ones, and happy Father's again. So we want to wish everyone a happy. Sorry, we wanna see you again in the next episode of the Equals in Digital Business. Again, it's chat with.
All of
All
us.
of us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
God bless you all.
Bye, everyone.